Some people... Oh, I forgot that I was boiling something. Wait a minute. Hey Ubba-Bubba, welcome to JuanMD. My name is Juan, I'm an MD, and on JuanMD I talk all about living life as a doctor and making the most of my Juan life to live. Some people say that high school were the best years of their life. Others will say that it was college, but for me, med school, without a doubt, is hands down the most awesome part of my life as a student. I learned so much about myself, made so many friends, learned so much about what I could do in the future. I learned so much about my potential and what I could potentially do as a doctor and how I could use my talents and skills to take care of other people. And then some. Hands down, it was med school. And just today I received my yearbook for the graduating class of 2020 of my school. Don't you wonder why they call it yearbooks and not class books? Since technically this thing summarizes the entire 5 years of your stay in med school. Oh well, I don't know. Today I'm gonna be doing an unboxing of my yearbook. I'm gonna be looking at it for the very first time. Maybe I'll bring up some memories that come to mind in the process of doing so. So let's get to it, guys. This is my unboxing of the yearbook of the Ateneo School of Medicine and Public Health graduating class of 2020. This is the box of my yearbook, and it looks pretty nice, looks pretty neat. Really nice choice of font, very simplistic design, and it's very classy, very classy. I love the font, I love the color choice. It's just a plain blue and white, like the official color scheme of my school. And what I like about this is the way that the book just slides out. You don't have to strain yourself to, pull it out, yank it out with your fingers and potentially damage the cover. It just slides out like that, and it's really nice. The experience of it is very nice. And the cover is really beautiful. Really beautiful. Painted by two of my classmates. These guys are amazing artists. The front cover has an astronaut standing in the middle of a galaxy. The stars are just speckled in the background. It's amazing. And the back, it has an astronaut looking at the mountains, a lake, and the stars and the clouds. Oh, it's just beautiful. And I think that's supposed to be like an aurora or something. We don't have those in the Philippines, actually, but usually in like winter countries, in the snowy parts, they usually have those there. Why do we have a spaceman as our class mascot? Actually, when we started out as freshmen, they wanted to make the theme of our class 2020 vision, because we graduated in 2020, and 2020 is how they described someone with perfect vision. But it was a bit tacky, so we decided to just use outer space as our class theme, because when you look at outer space, you look at the stars, it's like symbolizes how you aim for something high, you aim for something big. And our catchphrase is Twenfinity and beyond. It's like a pun, because 20 and Twinfinity, it's just for memory's sake. It's not like we're selling any merchandise or anything. It's just, for nostalgia. But anyway, let's get to the book. Let's open the book and let's see what's inside the book. So there we have the front cover. Pretty nice. Same font as the... Ooh. Okay, about the cover. They're explaining why the cover is designed so... Okay, when we approached to design the yearbook cover, we wanted to create something that would not just embody Batch 2020, but also our journey with all the uncertainties, obstacles, doubts, and emotions. And so we decided to go back to our space theme, but what better way to symbolize the hardship of med school than an astronaut being caught in a black hole? Okay, I see. Okay, so that's not a galaxy. It's a black hole. I see. I can see it now. But actually, you know what? I thought with this cover, it reminds me of a cell. Like, the astronaut is like inside a nucleus, and he himself is like a condensed chromosome at the periphery, and it's surrounded by ribosomes in the rough endoplasmic ER. Maybe I'm just reading too much into this. Hey artists, If I'm wrong with the way that you painted this, please let me know. But, that's how I saw it. But, I could be wrong. But there had to be more to it because there is more to our journey than its struggles. So we decided on the back cover, on the other side of that black hole, we found a brave new world. We found friends, mentors, life-changing experiences, and most importantly, we found ourselves, who we are now and who we could be. The journey is far from over, but we believe there's value in pausing and looking back at how far we've come. We hope that this cover reminds all of us of our mantra since day one at ORSEM, Orientation Seminar. That's when we all came together and had games and had fun and met each other and got to know everyone as a batch, as a class. Per aspera ad astra. Oh, through hardship to the stars. Yes, that is our batch mantra. Amazing. Okay, we have a message here from our dean. It's Dr. Senon Alfonso. He's like a really amazing surgeon. And we also have a message from Mr. Rodolfo Ang. Mr. Rodolfo Ang is the dean of the School of Business. And actually, our school is not just a med school, but it's also a school of public health. And we also give an MBA degree. And the MBA degree is offered in partnership with the Ateneo Graduate School of Business. And that's why we have two deans, which is pretty cool. Ateneo Class 2020, a triumphant solidarity against a global pandemic. As we all know, 2020 is the year when the pandemic happened, and it's kind of like, wow, very symbolic. Like, the front cover talked about how our class went through so many hardships, and the pandemic was like the big boss. We had to do our board examinations in the midst of a pandemic, and that was hard, stressful, anxiety-inducing for a lot of us. And that's why it was monumental, I guess, that we graduated in the midst of a pandemic. That's wow. You shiningly shown how solidarity in achieving a common purpose superiorly overcomes even the most powerful foe of dissipation and isolation amidst the onslaught of a global pandemic. Alliteration. I love the alliteration. The marvelous yearbook is another testament of your powerful solidarity. It proves not only your God-given, well-cultivated intellectual and creative talents, it is your class's documented evidence of leadership, teamwork, effective communication, bold decision-making ability, professionalism, and Ignatian values. ASMPH envisioned a different kind of medical school. It reminds me of my catchphrase, I'm a different kind of guy. I'm a different kind of guy, but I can't believe that still. A medical school that uniquely combines clinical training with management education and provides a public health perspective, one that gives leadership training and values formation the same importance as skills development. That is so true. Oh, we have other messages. Wow. Okay, this over here is the Associate Dean, Dr. Bakiran. Your excellence in medicine is matched by the deep desire to be catalysts of change, so you can improve the lot of others and give glory to God. Beautiful. And this over here is Doc Eleanor Gatapia. She is our coordinator in the final year of our class. The past 5 years in this institution has prepared you well for this journey that you will be able to navigate through these challenging times successfully. Wow, that's so touching. Okay, another year level coordinator, assistant coordinator, Dr. Florentina Titit Villanueva. Ooh, I love this. Live the adventure called life. Savor every precious moment and offer all for the greater glory of God. Wow, I love that. Our executive officer, Dr. Janelle Gagalonia. What we have been through the past years was not easy, but we made it. The road ahead will be challenging, but I know we will all be able to face it with courage and hope because Ateneo trained us for this. And I do not disagree. And then Editor-in-Chief, Dr. Benjo Empedrado. Sometimes we're in bizarre universes. Sometimes we're sucked into a black hole. Oftentimes we're just drifting in the vastness of space. Let this yearbook be a commemoration of the adversities we conquered. Let this yearbook be a reminder of our greatest triumph thus far, status post med school. Wow, wow, really amazing words. Oh, that's all of us. Let's see, that's all of us. Where am I? Where am I? Where am I? Oh, I'm in the letter D. Let's see. Letter D, letter D. Oh, there I am. There I am. I still have like a mustache. Aww. All my classmates are here. Aww. It's amazing. So beautiful. And here are our write-ups. Wow. Let's see. One of the themes of this book is the status post, okay? S/P. Doctors like saying that to say that a patient is like status post craniotomy. It means the patient had a craniotomy. Or status post chemotherapy. It means the patient finished a course of chemotherapy. So what is my fondest status post med school memory? Like, what is the fondest memory I had in med school that already finished? My fondest memory was as early as first year med school, me and several others who were interested in taking the USMLE would meet every week and study first aid for the USMLE Step 1. We called our group Taule, honoring the name of the primary author of the first aid book. We would discuss clinical concepts and correlate these to our modules in school. And these were some really good times, and these were some of my fondest memories in med school. Okay, describe med school. In medical school, I questioned everything I knew. I was broken, I was changed, but despite my weaknesses, I made it through by God's grace. Amen and amen. And that still holds true today. My plans after med. My plan is physician licensure exam, USMLE Step 1, USMLE CK, and USMLE CS. Actually, I wrote this before they gave the announcement that CS is gone. So right now, these are still pretty much the same except for the CK-CS thing. I don't plan to take CS anymore because, well, it's not being offered anymore. You know what I mean? I plan to do child neuro, teaching, then maybe get married, but ultimately it's God who will determine my steps. Wow. I really love seeing all these guys. It's so surreal. I haven't seen their faces in so long. Ooh. Okay, I love this one. This one is Different Strokes 2020. This one was written by my classmate, Dr. Rafael Mendoza. Batch 2020 is a melting pot of different personalities, with each one bringing something new to the table. In board review fashion, we bring you the 5 most common ways Batch 2020 has worked over the years. I'll read. Okay, the artists. With creative juices flowing through their veins, these students come up with the most unique ways to memorize the branches of the facial nerve and the different cephalosporins. Their outputs range from witty mnemonics to elaborate stories to full-blown works of art. I wonder if he was thinking of me then, because I do use mnemonics sometimes. Not as often now, but back in med school, I used to make so many mnemonics. Sometimes I had difficulty memorizing even the mnemonics. What you gonna do, right? The coffee lovers. No, definitely he was thinking of me here. These students wouldn't be caught dead without their usually iced cup of coffee. Cup? Who uses a cup? I use a tumbler. And it's 6 o'clock p.m. They rely on their daily dose of caffeine to get through the day, and a quiet coffee shop with decent Wi-Fi is a prerequisite. I cannot tell you how difficult it was for me to make it through the pandemic without a coffee shop. I usually studied in coffee shops, but without coffee shops being open, I had to make do with what I had. Turned my condo into its own coffee shop. They know their gram-negative bacteria as well as their coffee beans and brews. Just so you know, the gastrointestinal flora, or the bacteria in the gastrointestinal tract, are mostly gram-negative bacteria, and so maybe that's what he was referring to in making that phrase. The hardcore learners. While others are still reading through their transes or the transcriptions, these students have already built a Quizlet or Anki deck. The teachers. These students embody the adage. How do you pronounce that? Adage? 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 The best way to learn is to teach. Yes, the Feynman technique. The followers. On the night before the exam, these students are usually found with a backlog of 13 or more transcripts. Their favorite expressions include tiwala na lang or bahala na si Lord. Wow, okay, these are Filipino. It means just believe or leave it to the Lord. I don't, you know, the phrase, thou shalt not put the Lord to the test. Sure, God will do change in your life, but it's also your responsibility to do what you can with what you have, you know what I mean? Nonetheless, everyone in batch 2020 worked hard to reach where they are now, the next step of their medical careers. Definitely, all of us worked hard, all of us did what we could, all of us made the most of what we were given, and we're doctors now, taking care of patients. Oh, wow. These are write-ups about all the fun times that we had, about all the fun occasions, the parties, the get-togethers. Wow. Oh yeah, we really love to have fun. Aw, these were memories in the hospital when we rotated. Aw, this one is talking about how we used to do our board review classes online. We were the very first class to do our board review classes online. You know, because of the pandemic, everything was locked down. And so we couldn't report to the review center, and instead they held our review classes online. And that was monumental, I would say. It's like no one ever before. No one did it ever before. Aww. It's our catchphrase. Twanfinity and beyond. And that was our yearbook. I don't usually cry when I feel emotional about stuff. What will make me cry is when I watch a really good movie. That's what makes me cry. But usually when I'm emotional about stuff that happened to myself, I don't usually cry. Don't call me heartless. It's just how I'm engineered, I guess. And that was my yearbook. Med school was really, really memorable for me, and I wow, it really shaped a lot of who I am, like my work ethic, my personality. Actually, it made me more of an introvert. Before going into med school, I was more extroverted, but now I would consider myself more of an ambivert. It also taught me self-management even more than college or high school. In med school, I learned how to manage my time. I learned how to manage my resources, how to develop my skills. I learned how to study in med school, bounds more than I did in high school or in college. Med school was just really different, and I'm really thankful that I went to med school in the first place. I had hesitations about going to med school, but I had that burning feeling inside that God wanted me to be a doctor. And when I embraced it, when I embraced what I was called to do and entered med school, everything just seemed to fall into place. And I had made all of these awesome memories. I grew as a person, and I'm still growing because of what happened in med school. And I'm just really thankful for med school. If you feel that you're called to med school, don't be afraid. I will tell you all the risks. I'll tell you all the downsides, all the cons of going to med school. But benefit still exceeds the risk by a light year. That was my unboxing. Please tell me what you thought of this video in the comments below. And please like this video. And if you haven't yet, click on subscribe and hit the bell so you can stay tuned for future updates. Before we end, it's time for the word of the day. As always, guys, this has been Juan. Remember to live life to the fullest because you only have one life to live.